Hello there, everybody.
Are we live?
We are live.
Oh, excellent.
Well, I don't know if we're actually live. This is really just our filler time where everybody else gets to start buffering and...
Either way, we are alive.
Yeah, I'm alive.
And that's important.
I feel pretty good, actually. I'm looking forward to this weekend, Paul. Are you, actually, you're doing something a little bit special.
I am.
What are you doing?
I actually put a little bit to talk about that at the very end of the show.
Oh, okay. Well, then I can hold back.
I mean, if we're just filling time, then I can talk about that.
Okay.
I'm going camping.
Nice.
Kind of. Yeah, backpacking.
That's pretty cool. Backpacking's different than camping.
That's the teaser. You're right. That's the teaser. And then for more information on my trip this weekend, stay tuned to the end of the show. You better keep watching. That's viewer retention right there.
That's right. That's how we get them.
Keep people engaged. Keep people interested. Somebody said thank you. This JJ gave me this ROG shirt. Thank you, Piggy Kid one. I do like it. I thought it was weird at first because like it goes up over the shoulder, but they did a pretty good job with it. It makes it look like I have, stronger pectoral muscles than I actually have.
So I guess I'll do the official start.
Yes.
Okay, guys, it is May 23rd. It is a Friday. It is 3 p.m., a little bit after that Pacific time. And we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Alt Tab Show. This is Newegg TV's live show. I'm your host today, Steve, as long as my co-host, Paul. Or do you want to be host and I'll be co-host?
I can be co-host.
Is that okay?
Steve. That's cool.
Okay,
Steve's in charge. Anything that goes wrong today?
My fault.
Okay.
My fault, yes. Okay. We are moderated right now by our two amazing moderators. That is Rachel and Ches, and probably Jenny at some point is going to jump into the chat. But
Jenny's in there.
Oh, she is in there? Excellent. Good times.
Nick's here too.
Nick Fenton?
I think Jenny already banned somebody for something.
Oh.
Then I unbanned him.
You banned Nick?
You banned Nick?
I did, and then I unbanned him.
He always just gives us so much information.
You guys will get to know some of our viewers pretty well on the show because we tend to talk to you guys quite a bit on camera.
So periodically throughout the show, we'll be referencing Twitter, so you can tweet to Steve or me. Our Twitter handles should be down below us. Yes, they are. And tweet things to us, and we might read them on the air if they are PG-13 or below. I'd say probably is about what we go for. I don't know what the cutoff is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safe enough. So, Paul, do you want to start off on our first story here?
Sure. Surely we shall. We're bringing you guys yet another public service announcement. For those of you who have not already heard, eBay has had a massive data breach. The stupid thing about this is the data breach actually took place back in like February, March.
Oh, good. I'm so glad I was smart.
Yeah, but it's only just now actually getting out there. So... Great job on warning the public. But about 100 million eBay accounts informations were compromised in a cyber attack. From what we understand, they were encrypted. So hopefully,
encrypted, salted.
Yeah, but so there's a bit of fallout on this. First off, of course, change your eBay password. Change any other password that you might have also used the same password as you did for eBay. Not that anybody does that. I didn't do that with any of my passwords. But also, and this is please do not read anything into this, but I would recommend changing PayPal as well. There's no information out there as far as PayPal having any issues there, but since PayPal and eBay are they are kind of closely connected, I just went ahead, did the safe thing, and also changed and updated the PayPal password just to be safe. And then the follow-up to this, the fallout, so to speak, is I believe the next tab over there, which is. Believe it or not, possibly, maybe eBay is going to be held accountable for this type of thing because, like, you hear something like eBay had a data breach and you're like, oh, well, that sucks. Everyone should, update their passwords and stuff. But really, there's some culpability here. There's some responsibility involved. Large companies that, especially when they deal with financial transactions, should enable the proper security. And if obviously there was a data breach, then there was something not quite right there. So there is potentially going to be some investigations here. The US and the UK are both looking into probing eBay, which is also going to be another segment later on in the show.
We're going to have probings later in the show.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always try to take a positive spin on things if I can. This type of thing happening with a large company like eBay and some sort of penalty being enforced could maybe other companies that also have sensitive data could possibly also say, oh, we better improve our security as well.
So playing devil's advocate about that too, I just wanted to mention, if I was that company...
How dare you?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm imagining that probably the main reason why they want to do that is because they want to save face. Is that kind of what you think?
Yeah, I mean, any company that comes out there and says, hey, we've improved your security, I mean, that's always good. But the CNET article here is actually referring back to the PlayStation Network data breach that happened in 2011, and the UK Information Commissioner was talking about that Sony was penalized in that particular instance, £250,000, which is a very, very heavy. I'm sorry, bad joke, terrible joke. It's about $421,000 in U.S. dollars.
Didn't even follow you on that. Pounds.
No, it's
weight.
really
Yes,
bad. I'm glad. I hope nobody's paying attention to anything I'm saying right now.
Ches, hit the dump button. Last 5 seconds. We're good.
Yeah. All we have to say on that particular topic.
Sure,
but,
absolutely.
Change your eBay passwords if you haven't already.
Yes.
All right.
And possibly your PayPal if you just want to be extra careful.
Or all of your passwords, and never connect any of your computers to the internet ever again if you're Steve.
Port 80, man. As soon as you have that open, you could be toast.
Gosh.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying what's feasibly possible. Kane knows what I'm talking about. All right. So moving along, this is another story. You actually grabbed this one. This is a great one. Basically, Steam and home streaming, and anybody who has Steam or has logged into Steam recently got the little pop-up about this yesterday.
We got to get proper. So earlier today, I tweeted out to my followers, and thanks to everyone who tweeted to me and gave some suggestions, because we're always looking for, what's new and hot and what's going on out there in the industry, and we only have so many eyes amongst us. And we got some great suggestions. So this one is from Strider, or Strider's tweet, if you want to tweet over to him.
Thank you, Rob.
So thanks for tweeting us over this one. But yeah, Steam in-home streaming is now open for public beta testing. Excellent.
Good stuff.
Do you guys? If you guys don't know what that is, you guys probably know what that is.
There you go.
But
start streaming today.
Yeah, so it's probably the most similar thing to this recently would be like an NVIDIA Shield. But basically, you can take Steam, run it on your super sweet gaming system that's up in your room, and you can stream it down to your kind of maybe much more simplistic and less expensive and doesn't have a really nice graphics card HTPC, for example, and play elsewhere in the home. So this is in-home streaming. It's over your local network. It seems there's an article.
I like to call it terminal gaming.
Terminal game?
As if you're a terminal to a server.
Exactly. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. But there's another article on Extreme Tech. They were doing some testing with this, and they said you can play PC games on the toilet, which is kind of their grabber, I guess. But they said it's been really surprisingly stable and easy to use for a beta. And he shows a quick setup there. He's got his high-end gaming system with a 4770K, and I forget what graphics card he was using, but he didn't say. He should say what graphics card he was using. But he's streaming to a MacBook Pro with a Retina display.
Nice.
So yeah, other options as well. If you've got like an older netbook or something like that that you still want to get some use for, that's pretty cool. And another thing that I neglected to do was tell. I believe this works with all the games in the Steam library? I
don't know about that. I wouldn't say that right now, just because I'm not positive either, and I get the feeling it's going to be certain games, but not all of them.
So I'm going to say it will work with every game: Steam, Origin, Uplay, Commodore 64. This will work.
I think that's the safest statement.
I am incorrect. Okay, I'm just making this up. So Strider says it works with all games.
Thank you, Strider. All right. Well, according to Rob, it works with everything, so we're
Rob's
safe.
Always on top of that stuff. But you got advanced options. You can change the resolution depending on the power of your local router and whether you got enough network speed there, that sort of thing, depending on the power of the client system that you're using. So pretty cool.
Yes.
Seems like a natural evolution of the Steam platform, and Steam once again continuing its dominance of gaming platforms and services, because I don't think that there's nothing comes close, really, right?
Right.
There's
not,
in your opinion?
Do you want to order them? I mean, I would say probably Steam.
That's a good.
Maybe Blizzard above Uplay.
How long does it take to set up a straw poll?
I don't know.
Done it before.
That would have been
Eventually,
great.
We're going to get on top of this and actually make a straw poll for.
Ches, hit the dump button again. We're going to set up a straw poll. They won't even know about it. It'll be great.
So what do you use? Steam and then what?
So I'm going to say Steam, and I'm thinking maybe Origin. Above Battle.net, and then probably Battle.net, and then I'd say probably Uplay after that.
I've never had any issues with Battle. I mean,
Not
Battle.net,
that
it's
there's an issue, it's just features.
It's only Blizzard games. That's
right, but I mean, it's
much.
just I want it more
actual
like Steam.
usability and features and that sort of thing.
Well, for instance, Steam, right? You can pick any game you want, and it'll work with it, even if it's a non-Steam game.
Okay.
But Battle.net, no, it's just it's just Battle.net.
Yeah,
That's all they want, though.
It's Blizzard's walled garden.
Yeah, and if you want your real name and first and last name to be given instead of your wacky username, you just give them your email address, and that's what you need to add. And
okay.
It's a bit too close to my gaming only friends that I want to be. I mean, I like you guys. I want to bring you in slowly over time, get to know you, and then we'll get to the next step where you know where I live and we hang out and have beer together. That's separate. Anyway, I wanted to mention that I re-downloaded the newest SteamOS client. I don't even know if there's a difference between the old one versus the new one, but I always get the custom one. I tried to reinstall in one of my systems. It's a 4770K ASRock Fatality board system that I have. But I had some problems installing it, stuff that I didn't have the first time around. Anyways, I'm probably going to grab a 500 gig drive that I have for my laptop and pop that in. It's just an extra drive I have, and then run SteamOS on that and just see how it works using my laptop to connect and stream. So
cool.
I'll let you know how it goes. I don't know when I'm going to have time to do it, especially since we're going to
we're going to be gone for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's going to be nuts. All right, so moving right along. You want to hit the next one?
Yeah, well, let's do a couple Twitter questions while we have a break, because our next section of the show is most of the rest of the show. But we got a quick
spoilers.
Break here. We're not talking about net neutrality today. That's all we're going to say.
Yeah, we're not gonna drill you guys right now. Although it's an important subject, we're not gonna drill you guys right now. So,
okay.
Yes, please continue, Paul.
All right, so I got a question from William Gracia. At William Gracia asks, favorite manufacturer for wireless cards? Intel.
Damn it. I was going to say Intel too. That's what I was going to say.
You're going to say Intel too?
Yeah, but it's fine. We can have the same one.
No, that's fine. Intel networking is generally top of the range.
Very powerful.
And interoperability, power, feature set, it's just got it all.
Have you used the WiDis? Have you used WiDi?
Have I used WiDi?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
How do you like it? I haven't really messed with it.
I haven't found a use for it directly, personally myself. We did a few setups here at the office, and I was like, oh, that's very convenient. Yeah, I mean, I can see, like, if you had a situation, here's where I see WiDi being pretty handy.
Okay.
You got an HTPC.
Yeah.
You have a home theater set up, right? You got like some wall, and you want to put a big TV there, but you don't necessarily, like, you want to have your entertainment center or something off to the side, something like that.
Right.
And you don't want to be running the wires over to it, except for power or something like that.
Okay.
You could. Oh, we got a straw poll. Nice. Chaz made us a straw poll.
Chaz will put the link in the thing.
You can't post it.
Wait,
is it blocked?
You're a moderator.
So moderators are down right now.
Oh.
But it won't let me post a link.
Moderators
Okay.
are
All right. We'll get you guys a link a little later.
But yeah, so you can wirelessly take your HTPC and stream it up to a TV. I don't know, something like that.
So for like movies, it'd be good, but not like gaming or something, right? Something where lag doesn't.
Yeah, that's something I have not really delved into, is how much lag it introduces for gaming or something like that.
Cool.
Okay. All right, Derek Tang, or Derek Salo, asks, what might cause USB 3 front headers not to work for USB 3 devices? Works 100% for USB 2 devices, A88X chipset.
I don't know off the top of my head.
There'd be a couple possibilities here. There are cases that have USB 3 on the front, and then the actual cabling that goes back through gives you a couple options for what to plug into the motherboard. And one is the actual full-size 20-pin USB 3 header, and it'll also give you an older USB 2 header, just in case your motherboard doesn't have USB 3.
Okay.
In that case, I mean, I don't want to. If you're already totally familiar with this, I totally understand, but double check, make sure you're actually connecting it to a USB 3 header and not a USB 2. That'd be one potential issue. You could check your drivers. A88X, there's a cumulative driver set from AMD that should install everything on there. Check your motherboard manufacturer. Make sure that it's not a third-party USB 3 controller that they've added on there for some reason that needs an additional separate driver apart from the drivers set that the AMD installer does.
Right.
That would be my,
so your basic steps are check for connectivity, then make sure you have the proper drivers.
Yeah. Other than that, power could be an issue because USB 3.0 devices use more power, or USB 3.0 ports provide more power by default. And depending on what type of external device you're using, if it's like a mechanical drive or something like that, rather than just a thumb drive that requires more power, maybe the port's not getting enough.
Weird.
Those would be my
maybe in the most outlandish situation, maybe there's the ports themselves for damage on that chassis.
Jeffrey Kohler asks, if I make a double CPU system with twin tower coolers, should I put the airflow in parallel or serial? If you're making a double CPU system right now, then chances are it's got Xeons in it, and it probably wouldn't make too much difference.
Jeff actually tweeted me about dual Xeon setup. He actually has a really cool use case that he's going to do with it. But
is this Jeffrey?
I believe it is. Yeah. Okay. I believe it was the same guy. Dragon, if you're it is Dragon, right? Yeah. Def Dragon. Yeah. So Def Dragon, if that was you and you were tweeting me about dual Xeon setup and the like, hit us up in the Twitch chat.
Yeah. Myself personally, I probably put it in serial. Because
more airflow flowing.
It's because the heat from the first isn't really going to negatively affect the next one very much. And to me, because most of those, if you're looking at the system, if it's going this way, I'm trying to.
So we're imagining CPU here, CPU here.
If it's going that way, I feel like for total system airflow, I think would make more sense that way. Although if your case just has open space at the top, you could have them both pointing up. And that would probably work.
That makes sense because heat rises.
That would probably work too. But yeah, honestly, with Xeons, it's probably not going to make a huge difference. Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay. Hardware. We have like a ton of hardware stories for you guys today, which we're pretty excited about because that's kind of our favorite stuff.
I like hardware.
So the first one is a big time rumor. And I know we always say rumor every time we talk about these things because we have certain responsibilities that we must adhere to and that sort of thing. But this one's a big old rumor. So WCCF Tech has an article posted that Intel's Devil's Canyon launch, which theoretically might be going on the 2nd of June, might be a paper launch, and then the CPUs themselves might be delayed till late September. That seems like a really long time to me. If you guys aren't familiar with this current thing, we just recently saw the launch of Z97 motherboards. We just recently saw the launch of the Haswell Refresh CPUs, which are all newer Haswell CPUs that had kind of a clock boost.
Upgraded Tim.
No, that's not. That's
I'm
not
so sorry.
Yeah. But
talking about Devil's Canyon.
Yeah, Devil's Canyon has improved him. But these are the non-overclock ones that just launched, and they will slot into Z97 or Z87 motherboards. But there's a whole other set coming out soon that has been codenamed Devil's Canyon by Intel. These are the K SKUs. These are unlocked. These will only work with Z97 motherboards, not Z87 motherboards. And we're expecting them very soon. But according to this article, they maybe have been delayed. And not only that, but they're also saying that desktop Broadwell, which is also supposed to be 9 series compatible, is Q2 2015, which is like really long time away. So I don't know. This is rumor. This is speculation. I don't. They didn't. I read the article. They didn't seem to be citing their sources all that. We have just received information. Oh, wait. I never clicked on the. Oh, this is like a Taiwanese website or something like that, I think. Saying that the Devil's Canyon thing is. Ooh, I'm gonna hit the translate button. I'm doing research right now.
Give Paul one moment while he does this.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about this. We've seen them do paper launches before. That just happens. They want to launch something at a specific time, but due to manufacturing issues or that sort of thing, they need to delay it. So they'll go with the launch date and they'll say, here's the new processor and here's a few people using it, and you can buy this in a month and a half. And that happens before, and it kind of sucks. Late September That is, what month is it right now? It's May. May, right? Okay, so June, July, August, September. That's like 4 months away. That just doesn't seem. That doesn't. I don't.
Your
like
thumbs down on that, huh?
I'm going to say that I think that's going to be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't really talk too much. I guess I don't know. I don't really know too much about this current launch. We won't know too much until we get to Computex, but we will be in Computex and we'll bring you all the information we can.
Yay.
When that comes out. So hopefully these aren't delayed, but there's rumors going around that they might be. And either way, this is a launch I'm really looking forward to, because like Steve was talking about, improved thermal interface material on the CPUs themselves. They're saying these are going to be more overclockable. Intel's giving more, I feel like, more credence to desktop users and enthusiasts lately. They really went down the mobile path for quite a long time. They were really designing more for mobile usage than desktop usage. And desktop kind of like is like, oh, we've made these new mobile processors, and yeah, okay, we'll make some socketed versions for the desktops, but they're not going to get Iris Pro graphics, and we're not going to, they're not going to overclock super well or anything like that. But these seem like they're kind of aimed in the right direction. The K-SKUs, and then also the Pentium anniversary, the 20th anniversary edition Pentium is another one that I'm really excited about, because that's supposed to be a much lower cost dual core overclock.
Much lower cost.
Overclockable part, and we can't talk about that.
Yeah. Well.
So,
rumored to be much lower cost.
But yeah, so these are things I'm really excited about. So stay tuned for our Computex coverage. We'll be talking about that as much as we can. And that's all for that story. All right, next we have an epic segment we're going to go into here.
Gary actually tweeted me this information. I want to give him a little bit of credit for this.
Oh, actually, the Devil's Canyon, you're right, we should be giving proper credit. Thanks to Paul James, or at Canvy Cricket, for tipping off the Devil's Canyon.
Great, I don't remember Gary's
rumor.
name.
What?
I'm trying to find Gary's tweet.
Gary?
Because you actually had the ad.
I did not know Gary.
No,
I copied and pasted it so I would remember.
Yes, well,
That's how I remember things.
I emailed it to you this morning. I was like, this is a really cool story. We should talk about this. And that's how this happens.
Well,
okay.
So it goes.
Wherever Gary went in my list.
D-Man Duck is going to cut a window in his side panel tomorrow and put in glass. Good idea.
Wow.
Glass is way better than Plexi.
It's way better than me.
I want to replace all of my Plexi windows with glass. Maybe I'll do that eventually.
I dremeled.
Thank you, Dan Halen. Thank you, Dan Halen, or at Dan. Wait.
Aha.
I thought that was the same person.
Gary Brigman.
Thank you, Owen Barnett, or OBarnett555. He says, we're freaking amazing.
Hey, thanks,
and that's
man.
really, really nice of you. I appreciate that. Oh, hey. Today I'm going to be buzzing the desk. Right.
Okay, so yes, Gary Brigman at SCU4041 shot me this story, so thank you very much for that, Gary. Basically, Acer is unveiling its 4K monitor with G-Sync, which is pretty cool. So you're talking about a 4K monitor, which I think probably would benefit a lot from G-Sync, right? Because the frame rates, and then, I mean, I'm going to reserve my opinion until I actually have more time to plan a 4K 60 hertz refresh system. But right now I'm not extremely impressed with that. But I imagine if we had G-Sync or ActiveSync or FreeSync hooked up to something like that, would make a tremendous difference for me.
You're not impressed by 4K 60 hertz with G-Sync?
I'm not as impressed as I felt that I would be. I guess maybe because I play at only 1080p at 144 hertz refresh rate, and that difference to me feels way more fluid. Plus, maybe my eyes are bad, so the 4K is just so
You've also
nice.
never seen this, Steve. That's kind of a snap judgment, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
You're jumping to conclusions.
You're absolutely right.
I'm just saying.
I'm hoping.
I saw this and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because doing 4K testing, you realize how much more difficult it is to run games at that resolution, especially with lots of eye candy on. And G-Sync seems like a really viable option for smoothing out the frame rate without having to resort to like V-Sync or something like that. So, so that's pretty cool. A 4K monitor with G-Sync, but we need a high refresh rate to impress Steve.
Yes, pretty much. I
But
mean,
that's understandable.
you guys, come on. I mean, just in comparison, I'm not saying that it's not. Now you're talking about being able to benchmark something versus a time before now where you couldn't even benchmark something at 30 hertz refresh rate 4K.
Okay.
Right. I mean, that's the difference between.
I thought you were gonna go back at me and be like, well, I mean, all you do is benchmark. I actually play games.
No,
you could legitimately say that, Steve. I'm still playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I'm into the hard areas in the lower left-hand side.
I've only played Assassin's Creed 1, and I wanted to play through and beat it so that I understood the story for the second one. So I bought every single AC title since then, not having played it. I didn't buy it when it first came out at $60, mind you. I waited for it to be on sale.
That Steam sale, yeah.
Yes. But I still bought it because I knew at some point or another I would want to play that game. I was hoping it would be like.
Always say.
But it worked out for Mass Effect 3. I bought Mass Effect 1 and 2, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to play this game, but I have it now. I finally had no internet.
Because we love you. I think you have a problem.
Intervention.
It's another intervention.
Did they turn this
every week? Every week it's a Steve.
You guys need to help me. Get on the chat and yell at them. What is happening?
This letter,
Rachel has a letter.
times when you were always there for us.
What is
And then
this?
the games.
The games, Steve!
I just want Steve back again.
I wish.
Everybody loves Gamer Steve.
We need a Rachel cam right now.
Yeah, we should.
The emotion.
Oh, yeah, she was displaying everything.
She's like, never mind, I'm going away.
She resorted to the dust in the eyes so that she could cry. It was amazing. Okay, so we are way off track, you guys. We started at a 4K monitor with G-Sync, and we are talking about stopping me from buying games.
So to encapsulate this segment of the Alt-Tab show, what we're going to continue talking about here is G-Sync and G-Sync alternatives, because it's cool, it's new technology. Right. Every time I think about this technology, I think to myself, I feel like they should have done this years ago, because... Well, they kind of did. Okay. They kind of did.
Yeah.
But Steve has been doing. I'm going to build you up so much. Steve has been doing exhaustive research. He is now the single most knowledgeable authority on this topic.
Right. So you remember that time when
he's the smartest man alive.
So you remember when Slick was talking to Linus about everything to do with VR and his total background? I'm like 1/100th of that well prepared for this. So I'll just prep you guys for that.
All right.
Okay. So bottom line is I've been hoping that the ROG Swift monitor that's coming out from ASUS that is G-Sync capable will hopefully, ever since 1.2a DisplayPort 1.2a was first announced, which allowed the spec to actually include adaptive sync, which is essentially G-Sync. I mean, it's different technologies, same goal, all right? So bottom line is, it's free if you could work that into the monitor for those that have maybe an AMD graphics card or an Intel-based video card, which would just be an iGPU, but still. Bottom line is, I was hoping that something like the ROG Swift monitor would actually encompass 1.2a spec, which would include its ability to give AMD users the same option. So that's where this conversation started.
So what is the landscape right now? What can, like, if I want some type of monitor right now and I want to synchronize my graphics card to my monitor so I get the nice buttery frame rates, what are my options right now?
Immediately, nothing. G-Sync comes out, hopefully the first G-Sync monitor comes out, I want to say quarter Q2, so either mid to late Q2.
Okay.
And then I think that the ROG Swift might be the first one.
No, you're lying, Steve.
God damn it.
Because we have a kit right over there.
No, that's different. That's different than what I want it to be.
You can't buy
that.
You're
You're absolutely correct.
Can you buy the kit? I don't even know if you can buy the kit.
You could have bought the kit, but I don't actually know that. See, this is what I'm talking about. I wasn't well prepared for this.
Okay, so now you could hack. Right now you could hack yourself a G-Sync monitor.
Yes, you could out of the ASUS 144 hertz refresh rate monitor. You could actually hack that, but then you're going to lose the OSD, the on-screen display, which gives you a lot of really cool stuff, and you lose all the other inputs. You only have a DisplayPort, so that's one issue with doing that way.
So if we want to talk soon,
right?
So let's say a G-Sync monitor comes out, then we have.
Then we have that option. Exactly. We have G-Sync. And basically G-Sync, as I said, Q2, maybe the end of Q2. But if you're waiting for adaptive sync or free sync, that's basically the same thing, by the way. That is going to be maybe 6 months to a year away. They're saying 6 months, but Anand actually says it's most likely to be 12 months.
Okay. So now, but there's limitations here, right?
Right.
If I want to go with G-Sync, right? I got to use NVIDIA.
Right.
and I got to use NVIDIA.
Yes, pretty much.
And
you have to use
you got to buy an NVIDIA graphics card, 600 series or newer.
Yep.
And it's got to be a G-Sync capable monitor.
Correct.
And the other hidden limitation there is that G-Sync is proprietary, and therefore
costs money.
It's going to cost a licensing fee for the monitor manufacturers to pay to NVIDIA in order to integrate this technology.
That's absolutely right.
And there's lots of discussion that could be made on proprietary technology, licensing, that sort of thing.
Right.
It's kind of a different subject. We could argue that at a later time. But what are the alternatives going to be?
So because DisplayPort 1.2a is actually adding the standard, AMD and VESA have been working together apparently to create the standard that would be adaptive sync. AMD is going to continue to market it as FreeSync, but basically it's the same thing. And all that's going to do is the exact same goal of creating a monitor that's going to have a variable refresh rate. And essentially what's happened is EDP, embedded DisplayPort, essentially has the technology to have a power saving ability, which has been there, I think, since 2009.
Okay.
And the bottom line is that had basically variable refresh rate as well in an effort to save power for mobile devices. And
so this is EDP, or embedded DisplayPort.
Right.
It's made for laptops, and the idea there is that you don't need to refresh a laptop's screen that often. They did it to, I'm repeating what you just said, but they did it to save power. But they can use that technology that's already been developed for laptops and power saving and simply translate it over to, well, just make the variable refresh rate a much higher refresh rate, so it's going to cater to gamers.
Right.
So that is only available with DisplayPort 1.2a.
Exactly.
So that's a interim upgrade. It's not DisplayPort 1.3.
Yep.
So when you see something and you see DisplayPort 1.2,
a monitor we're talking about,
or a monitor,
or a
that
video
sort of
card.
thing, you're not always going to know, because you can say DisplayPort 1.2 and you can't necessarily say the A or that sort of thing. So we've actually seen it both ways.
Right.
But so FreeSync is different from adaptive sync, or is it the same thing?
No, basically AMD is going to start to promote it as FreeSync.
Okay, so
it's still
this is AMD's kind of little marketing jab at NVIDIA by calling, hey, it's free, we're not charging people for this, since VESA creates the standards for this types of thing, and there's no licensing fees attached,
right?
Which means potentially the monitors might not cost as much. Who knows how much the licensing fees actually are for G-Sync?
Right.
But then the other thing here that we want to, really the driving thing that we want to get to here is buy a monitor and then use whatever video card you want with it.
That'd be fantastic.
And have some sort of synchronization available. And we think that is what adaptive sync is going towards. Now, I think one of the issues we're looking at right now is G-Sync has been talked about and developed for some time now. Granted, DisplayPort 1.2 or DisplayPort and adaptive sync have also been in development, but NVIDIA's really been pushing to bring this to the market so they can have, get your G-Sync monitor and your NVIDIA graphics card and you're good to go.
And they are technically different technologies too. I want to stress that. They actually, I can understand them wanting to do that, because obviously now you have total control of the ecosystem front to back. If you have a spec, you have to deal with that spec from now to the end of, well, I guess technically specs update, but still, everybody's dependent on you, versus NVIDIA is like, well, we own both sides of the technology. We just have to sell you the chip to put into your panel.
Okay.
Or not the chip, but you know what I'm saying, the hardware to put in your panel.
You're writing here that most of the GCN 1.1 products are going to support adaptive sync.
That is directly taken from Anand, and essentially that's what he's saying, yes.
So that would include the Radeon 290 and 260 series. So basically the newer ones, the ones that were based on... Shoot, I can't remember the code name. It was a funny sounding code name. It was...
Well, there's several of them.
No, it was Hawaii. No, there was Hawaii, and then there was an in between one.
Oh, you're just talking GPU.
Bonaire. It was Bonaire.
Okay.
Because it sounded like boner. Okay, so.
But
the 260, the 290, 290X would theoretically be compatible with this. This is again according to Anand. And then APUs as well, such as Beema, Mullins, Kaveri. So that would be pretty cool. Now, there's no comment from NVIDIA about this so far.
Right. Well, think about that, because they don't have, and this is directly from Anand as well. He makes a really good point that essentially they don't have any way for the ability to test to make sure it would or wouldn't be compliant. So because there's currently no adaptive sync panels out there.
Yeah.
So how can they test it to make sure it's compliant?
It's kind of like a lot of the Z97 motherboards that came out that had SATA Express in them.
Right.
The motherboard manufacturers weren't talking about it very much because they didn't have any SATA Express drives to test. So while they are designed to be compatible with the standard, they're, until you can plug it in and be like, okay, that works.
Yep.
It's hard to
Test
say
and green.
that, yes, this has been validated. So,
But he does mention, though, that essentially there would be some compliance testing with VESA, some VESA compliance testing, I should say, for 1.2a, just to make sure that it's able to match up with that spec. So the idea is if the monitor comes out, any of these G-Sync monitors come out, and they're compliant with 1.2a, then feasibly, you'd imagine that it would work with active sync as well.
So here's what I'd like to see. Because NVIDIA has been marketing G-Sync, and I understand they have an investment there. So I think what NVIDIA should do is take G-Sync. They need to add some special sauce to it, right? I don't care, like, you know, the on-screen video overlays, something like that. Something where it's like, hey, if you've got the NVIDIA graphics card and you've got a G-Sync monitor, not only do you get the synchronization, but you can also do this and this.
Right.
So they can sort of maintain that bit of a draw for sticking with the NVIDIA, NVIDIA platform, or sticking with all NVIDIA stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, the G-Sync monitor is also adaptive sync capable. You could plug in an AMD card with it. You might not get whatever little extra stuff they do there. And then you could also have just monitors that are adaptive sync only that would still work with NVIDIA and AMD cards. And then everybody's happy because you still have the freedom of choice. And the 4K 144 hertz monitor that Steve buys next year, as soon as it's available, he can use any graphics card he wants, and everybody's happy.
That would be really, really nice.
I sure hope that's the way they go, because
Yeah.
I feel like limiting consumers' choices for this type of thing just hurts business. Allowing people to have the freedom to go with whatever they want is going to, I think it makes people think more highly of a company in general.
Right.
And I think it also makes people feel better about making a purchase because they don't feel like they're being painted into a corner for anything they might go for in the future.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
So there's a couple more little final tidbits to this story. We got an article from Sweetlockers, the Swedish overclocking site.
Oh, that makes sense.
Super sweet. You're not familiar with
Sweetlockers? No.
Steve, you're supposed to hit the Google Translate on this.
Yeah, it didn't.
It didn't pop up.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, there
Translate.
you go. Translate the page.
I'm translating it into Japanese for us. Go.
All right. So we have translated this into the native tongue. But yeah, all right, so adaptive sync monitors are in the works, which is cool. And again, still too early to say as far as compatibility goes. But Asus, Philips, AOC, and Iyama, which is not distributed in the US as far as I know, are all working on monitors with DisplayPort 1.2a and adaptive sync. Pretty cool.
Wow.
Unfortunately, there's not a ton of information available. This is really early. To discuss this too much.
No problem.
But that's good to know, I guess. I feel like I had more to say about that when we first.
Well,
pulled this up.
it's more evidence to back your opinion that there's probably going to be that duality in these monitors.
Yes.
If I was a panel manufacturer, I'd definitely want the most customers available to me. So I'd imagine.
Cool.
So.
And then there's another article from computerbase.de, German website, which also must be translated. And
Translation
they
complete.
have so you guys can feel free to translate this article or read it in German if you happen to read
I
German.
translated it.
Just a little bit more information. Yeah, so this is about more specifically about the Asus monitor, since Asus they make really nice monitors. They always seem to be on top of this. So they're talking about 144 hertz monitor to be adaptive sync capable, and
Anand's in
I think
this?
that they have a quote from Anandtech. Yeah,
Nice.
I think it might have been an interview they were doing, and maybe there were multiple media people there. So they had some Anandtech questions as well.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yes.
Jumping forward.
People are asking what I whispered a little while ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
nonsense.
That may or may not have come directly from an AMD employee. I've said too much already. What?
What is this? What is this next?
Oh,
story
no,
you
no, no,
have?
it wasn't AMD. I know who said that. I can't. I'll tell you later.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Insider information.
Getting a little distracted. All right, more hardware news. Continuing on, that here endeth the discussion of Adaptive Sync and G-Sync. All right, some video card news. This, I guess this kind of ties in with higher resolution. EVGA, if you guys might have already known, is working on a GTX 780 with 6 gigabytes of memory, GDDR5
This
memory
many.
integrated. And I can tell you guys from experience, if you're going for 4K, getting above 3 gigabytes is worth your while. So going for a 4 gig card or going for a 6 gig card like these have available, definitely worth it. So EVGA has actually added the GTX 780 6 gig version to their step-up program. Unfortunately, by the time we actually pulled this up, there's a link.
This one?
Yeah, click on that link on the article, and signups are closed.
And done.
So sorry about that. People jumped on that pretty quickly, apparently, but this is within 90 days. And the difference here is EVGA usually doesn't offer this step-up program for the same chipset. So this was a special thing that they did to allow 3 gig owners to upgrade to 6 gigs.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
But the little side bit to this story is actually, if you jump back to the overclock.net tab 1 link back, scroll all the way to the bottom. There's Jacob.
Oh, Jacob actually posted in there?
Yeah, Jacob posted in here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And believe it or not, Jacob says we will have a few different models of the 780 with 6 gigs, so they're probably working on maybe a classified version or something. And the TI is being worked on.
Yay.
So basically, it's the GTX Titan Black.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Pretty much. I guess there's really not much difference in the specs.
Right, right.
I think the Titan Black might have more double precision floating point.
Right, yeah. Because it needs to.
operators enabled or something. That would be the only difference. But pretty cool. And then yes.
Moving right along.
Oh, good LGP on the move. LG. We met LGP on the move.
We did?
Yeah, from a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
What's
okay.
up?
What
What's
up,
up,
man?
Leslie?
Miss.
So yeah, wait. Well, follow up. There's also Asus wants to get in on this. So not to steal EVGA's thunder, but Asus also has a 6 gig 780 coming out.
JJ told me that
What?
I wasn't going to bring it up because it was EVGA, but JJ was telling me how it really didn't matter about getting up to 6 because
JJ is wily. He's a wily character.
Yeah, no, I know he is.
Not only did he come up with the idea for the Pentium 20th anniversary edition, but he's snuck a few things by me before where I asked him directly about something. He's like, nah, we're not going to do that. And then like 3 months later, I'm like, you lied to me. And he's like, I couldn't tell you. But yeah, so Asus, this is a new marketing. They must have licensed a new mark. It's, how do you pronounce it?
Strike?
I want to say they
Strix?
want to call it Strikes.
Yeah, Strikes sounds better than Strix.
But I want to say Strix. If I read it, I want to say Strix. That's what it looks like
Which
to
one
me.
sounds cooler? Which one do you guys
I know
like better?
Strikes sounds cooler.
Yeah, no, I know.
I know that, but I'm saying reading that, it's Strix.
But it doesn't sound as good.
Well, you know, it would sound even worse if you just said Strix are for kids.
Oh man, they just.
Why am I
I'm glad it's you and not me.
Why am I saying
I
the
do
things
this all the
that come to my
time,
mind?
not on the camera.
I
I'm
know,
so
that
glad
was-
I'm not doing it right now on camera.
That was bad.
Okay, good.
All right.
And it's also low noise.
And if that's not enough discussion of
another
NVIDIA, the Titan Z might be
Jensen.
releasing soon. In fact, next week, according to this. This is another WCCF Tech article, and again, rumor.
Rumor.
rumor. But according to this article, May 28th is when they're potentially doing a release date. Jensen was actually defending the price of this card and basically saying it's not really made for you folks out there who might have what's called a budget or limited funds. I mean, I really like Jensen. I like the way he addresses things. I like the way he's very forward with things.
Yeah.
And he's just being direct here, but he's really saying, this isn't really a card designed for people who are worried about money.
Right.
This is designed for people who just want the best of the best they can get and you know,
Yeah.
I guess go you if you're one of those people.
And if you're one of those companies that just wants a really, really
Yeah.
expensive dual GPU.
That's probably the way it's going to go. It's going to go to really, really high-end boutique systems. That and hopefully where it might even be used for the betterment of humanity, because from my understanding, the Titan, when it first came out, because Titan did very well.
For
they sold
folding?
lots of Titans.
Okay.
No, there's a lot of universities would buy them.
Right.
Universities
Right, I remember now.
and that sort of thing, doing research, doing developments, running simulations and that type of thing. So in that respect, even though gamers looked at it like, oh, you're charging $1,000 for a single GPU card for the first time ever, you're setting a new precedent. But there is use for it, and that use happens to be, I guess, if you're a university or you're really rich. So
You wanted to know where your tuition goes?
Yes.
These cards.
But yeah, there we go. So Titan Z's coming out soon. Hopefully we'll get to try one. Actually, Patty said she was going to give me 2.
Patty,
Patty?
you
watching?
I'm gonna clip this out and just send it to you on Facebook. It's gonna be this one small clip of us yelling at you.
That was at PAX East, and I was like, oh yeah, we need to get one of those and do testing on it. And I was like, give us 2 of them. We want 2 so we can do.
Patty from
Quad.
NVIDIA said
I want
PAX
quad.
East.
I want Quad Titan Z. That'd be sweet.
Wow, that is
super
so
sweet.
crazy.
The problem is we had to return one of the 295 X2s though, so we couldn't really pit them both against each other. I mean, I could, but I couldn't like do updated benchmarks on the 295 X2. Maybe I could.
Quad
Maybe I
Titan
could hit Boston. Maybe he'll lend me his. Anyway.
Yeah. Austin's a cool guy.
All right. So I think that's all for the hardware news.
Nope,
Oh wait,
one more.
no. We got one more. We got a
One
good
more.
one. I like this one. This one was also
Do my eyes deceive
from a
me?
tweet. I have to really apologize here because I did not list this one.
Is it
This was from a
metallic
tweet I got earlier, and the tweet was actually just recommending me to go over overclock.net forums. And sorry, what
Is that like reflective green? Like I can't. I'm sure it's plastic,
know.
but it's
I
just the
don't-
way that.
it's hard to
colors
say if that's a real board or if that's a Photoshop job
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But
It's
okay,
got the
so
claws.
anyway, thank you to whoever recommended me to go over overclock.net and check their tech
I forgot his name
technology forums. I'm sure I'll find you on Twitter later.
too. Eventually,
Eventually.
we will thank you
But
with tweets.
yes, I do
Okay.
like overclock.net, but I hadn't thought to do that.
Yeah.
Wait, I bet I could find it right now. Steve, talk about this.
Okay, great. So a bunch of colors.
Yes.
I didn't even read it. I literally didn't even read it because I'm so used to
bunch of
just
colors.
any story that Paul does. I'm just like, yeah, whatever you want to talk about, Paul. You just talk about it, and we'll go over it.
Okay.
And I'll have something
so
to
this
say
is
later.
all right. So if you guys saw the Z97 launch, you saw there were some new color options from some of these motherboard manufacturers. However, there were not any more green boards because Gigabyte went from green to red for their gaming's G1 series, and there's lots of red and black now. If you're into red and black looks cool, but a lot of people like other variations.
Are there any
Emma-
salmon in black? I'm totally kidding. I'm so sorry.
I think EVGA has one of those. So MSI is talking about doing different color options for their motherboard. I've actually suggested this to several motherboard vendors who have come in here, and that's not to say I'm taking credit for this, although I gladly will, but I'm sure they've had this idea before to come out with different color variations for their motherboards. It's a manufacturing issue. It costs more to do that sort of thing, but I think it's something that's useful because people love to color coordinate their systems.
Yeah.
Kyle, and this is a nice, you get a nice green and black here looking one. That's pretty cool. And then further down, there's another one down past the picture of Tiny Tom Logan. That's a great screen cap of
Yeah, it
TTL
is.
there. Okay, and then
white
there's a
and black?
white one there as well.
Oh, I really like that
You
one.
like the white and black?
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Oh,
If
man, that's
MSI's
really
watching
cool.
right now, we're digging this white and black one.
Yeah, Mark.
I would almost
get on
let-
that.
And there's the red shield there. Do you want to keep the red shield?
I'm okay with the red shield.
I'm okay with the red.
The
Yeah.
what happened, Rachel?
Humor on the other side of the room.
Sorry, I just saw the guy's face.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's Tiny Tom
4
Logan.
seconds.
Yeah, go back up to Tiny Tom Logan.
All right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Derp. Can you match it?
No.
You're not even gonna try for a screen cap? We
No,
could out screen
I-
cap that.
We'll just Photoshop it, Paul, either way.
Put his head up there.
I'm sure if you looked hard enough, you could probably find it. I still, whenever I'm doing thermal paste, I still have this. This is a Tiny Tom Logan video I watched like several years ago, and I still think to myself, I'm going to do the blob and squidge, because that's what he calls
That's what he
it.
calls
That's what
it?
he calls the thermal paste application, the blob and squidge.
How does it go? How does it?
Because you put the blob and then you squidge it down.
Squidge it down, okay,
the
all right.
It's the old blob and squidge, and it's just like, that's so English. But I really like it. Okay.
Yes, that is
Tiny
good.
Tom Logan with
How are we doing? We're doing good. We're actually, mine's sort of long. So.
All right, so that's all for hardware. We're moving on to gaming news now, and Steve has. This is actually Steve.
He's gonna blast.
Steve copied and pasted an entire GameCrate article here.
Pretty much, yeah.
So if you guys haven't been checking out GameCrate, definitely go over there and check it out. Our friend Nick has been doing a ton of articles. That's got some really, really, really good content. That's a picture of him.
Yep.
He has a pirate patch and a flamethrower attached to his wrist.
Normally, unless it's Fridays, then it's casual.
Yeah, casual Fridays, he just wears the flamethrower with the t-shirt.
Yes, actually, I think. Why is that on
That's
audio?
also apparently a minigun that the flamethrower can also be.
Yep.
Wow, Nick's really decked out. But he's done some really great articles. There was a Civilization Beyond Earth article that he just did. Tons of information in it that wasn't there anywhere else. He has lots of really good industry contacts, so he's been interviewing industry
contacts,
industry, he's been talking to them, and he's been finding out information and writing it down and posting it on a website.
Yep,
that's what he does.
Along with Q, his new writer that he just hired. So now it's the two of them. Q. Ignore
I'm
that.
saying who's trolling you.
I'm sorry, I don't even know.
It's not Jay.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Although it probably.
That was going to be Jay-Z.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So bottom line is, I'm going to jump into this article, and that was a great intro for Nick and GameCrate, by the way, because you're going to see that picture and not know who it is. So Evolve, awesome game. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Essentially, it's a 4 versus 1 style video game where you are one of 4. Actually, you're anybody. You can be the Goliath as well as one of 4 classes to fight against the Goliath. Really interesting game. I'm going to assume that you guys have already heard about it.
It's like a big old boss fight, and one person gets to be the boss, and 4 people try to kill him.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Right, exactly. And so we're going to go kind of into it as if you've already heard a little bit about Evolve. So they've unveiled 4 new hunters yesterday and a new map. So I'm just going to go down to kind of the different people that you can play as, because I find that the most interesting part of this article. So first and foremost, if you pick different members of a class, they're actually going to have totally different names, probably different voice packs, and totally different styles of gameplay. So essentially, you could keep playing this game that might sound boring to you, but as a totally different class, or even the same class but a totally different character, it's going to be completely different as to the way you play. First example is the Assault class. The new guy's name is Hyde. He has the most damaging weapon in the game now. It's that flamethrower you saw earlier. Some negatives to that style gameplay would mean that you'd have to be extremely close to the Goliath, which is a massive beast that will just pound you. So you don't really want to be close to him. But if you had a really good healer, or if you had the new version of the healer, it actually won't matter if you die, which I'll get into in just a moment. He's also more offensive. He's more of an offensive player as opposed to defensive, in the sense that instead of using arc mines, which is one of the other character would use, he now uses toxic grenades to just cause area of effect damage that he can throw at any given time, versus a mine you're just going to place down and hope that the enemy walks over it.
Well, I'm offended already.
You're already offended. Anytime you want to say something, you just got to bump me, because I will keep going.
No, you're doing great.
Okay. So the next class is the Trapper. Trapper's kind of cool. Her name is Maggie. Very, very nice name there, Maggie. She has a pet, just like the other version of the Trapper. This pet is a little different, though. Her name is Daisy, funny enough. Yeah, isn't that nice? Daisy looks like this, which is a monster, pretty much, in the game. Yeah.
It said Bloodhound, and I was like, oh, it's going to be like a floppy-eared... Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, it's...
Vicious, spiny beast.
The name of that beast is a Trapjaw. So the jaws, it's a trap. Anyway, Bloodhound is what the pet can do. It's a Bloodhound, so it's basically running around with your 4-man team. Normally, you'd be looking around with the sonar beacon that goes out that one of the other characters uses, and basically you just kind of look around for traces. Bottom line is, though,
no, the Trapper does the beacon.
The Trapper does the beacon.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other Trapper does the beacon. Thank you very much. Did you play as the Trapper?
Yes.
Oh, right on. Okay, this is perfect timing.
I'm all about the Trapper.
I did the Medic. I really enjoyed the Medic, but I want to play the Lazarus, which is the new version of the Medic, which we'll get into. Anyway, so the Bloodhound ability of Daisy will basically allow you to just use that animal to find her, just like a Bloodhound would.
Oh, nice.
Which is way faster than the other way. Daisy can also revive downed players.
Oh,
so not
no,
when you're
only
dead.
hunters.
Hunters, excuse me. Only hunters. Yes, you're right. It can revive downed hunters, excuse me. Then on top of that, she can also impede the Goliath's movement with mines versus a harpoon gun. So the harpoon, obviously, I'm following you, I see you, I can set it up.
I was using the harpoon gun a lot.
How did you like it?
It was great. I felt like I was really helping when I used the harpoon gun, because I was like,
you would try to escape, right?
well, I mean, it's like, I know we talked about this in one of the other streams, but like the way they had it set up was so good, because it's the first time playing this game. There's a bunch of abilities, but they have a guide kind of talking in your ear and kind of encouraging you to use these different things. So, throwing down the big battle dome so the Goliath can't leave it for a certain period of time. That was one thing I really had to do, and then locking him down with the harpoon was also really, really key.
So your guide was actually really helpful. My guide just kept yelling at me, "What are you doing? Go left, go left!" No, I'm kidding. I just thought it'd be really funny if he did, though. It could just make me hate the game, and I don't like it. It makes me shake with fear. So yeah, you basically can impede it with a mine as opposed to impede the Goliath's movement with a mine versus a harpoon gun. So it's less active, more defensive that way, but still, you could use that. Moving along, we have the Medic, and the Medic's new name looks pretty cool.
That's Lazarus?
Yep, that's Lazarus.
It's a great name for
a guy that does what he does.
I think I know what his ability is.
You do.
Well, you've already kind of said
Yeah, but that's all right. You guessed correctly.
Cool.
If you guessed that it could bring you back to life, yes, you can. But basically, he still has a sniper rifle, and it still puts damage multipliers on the enemies, which I love, because I played as the Medic, and I thought that was really cool. But
so it's not direct damage, but it's an enhancement for...
Right.
Okay.
Right. So basically, if I nail the Goliath in the head, instead of ×2, it'll get a ×4 multiplier for anybody who hits that point that I softened.
Beautiful.
Yes. But on top of that, as I mentioned, he can bring members back from death, which is normally, once you die in that game, the Goliath is like, check mark, I've got 3 left.
No, we had a death, and we actually managed to wait it out until they were able to come back.
That's right. You can't respawn.
It's like a minute and a half or 2 minutes you got to wait, which is a really long time in the game. Yeah.
If it's the final moments and he gets all 4 of you down, you're toast. Yeah. Versus not having to wait and just sneak up. Bottom line is, he can bring you back to life, but he doesn't have a health gun, so that's the trade-off. He can no longer heal. But I still think that this is a huge advantage. Nick actually says it in the article. I completely agree with him, because he also has another ability, a personal cloak. So he doesn't have to wait for the monster he doesn't have to rush in, and heal somebody. He can wait for the monster to kill somebody and then run in cloaked and revive them. So it's really, really cool that they can do that. I can't wait to
We should
start
segue to this
that.
Plants vs. Zombies story from the...
Oh, God.
Steve. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, run through time. Sorry, guys.
We're running out of time here, too, so...
And
we
moving
need
along.
to try to finish on time.
Yes, this particular day we have a hard stop, so we will move right along. Okay, so this is the new support class. His name is Bucket.
Bucket.
Yes, he has a dry British wit, according to Nick.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, also he looks the coolest. I think he looks like. He a little bit reminds me of the loader from Aliens, I guess, looking at him. But
he reminds me of Transformers.
Bumblebee?
Bumblebee.
Oh yeah, because yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Bumblebee with like a helmet on, a weird helmet on. Yes, and it looks better than the Cyborg, which is the version of the support. The other version that's currently been known to be used. So he has a guided missile launcher versus Hank, which is the other support class. He uses a laser cutter, so basically you're getting guided missiles. And on top of that, a sentry gun versus a shield projector. Those are cool. Obviously more offensive than more on the offensive side versus I guess the shield projector, which is more defensive. And then he also has this really cool ability. He has a UAV where he actually physically dislodges his head from his body, and the player can control where he goes and just basically performs reconnaissance throughout the entire map. There's one big negative though. His body is stationary, and unless someone else is there, completely unguarded. So that's an easy kill for the Goliath. If he ends up being somewhere near it and you detach, then he just runs over and kills you, and you're screwed.
I see.
But yes, Yes.
Sweet.
So that happened. Should
So let's skip the let's skip
Skip
that
this one?
last story.
You
That's
got
no
it.
big deal.
Okay.
All right, so we need to wrap it up pretty quick here, but we do have one last story. If we can jump over to this one, we had a little bit of science and tech. Credit to Nocturne Kitty for
Yay.
sending this one over to us.
Thanks, Nocturne
We're gonna
Kitty.
keep an eye out for this tonight, but this is a giraffe's meteor shower. If you guys
Giraffes
are
are
in the
falling?
northern hemisphere, actually, if you scroll down, Steve, there's some maps on this one that shows where it's visible from.
Should I click on it?
I know it's pretty small, but Control Plus. Oh, there you go.
Right.
Maybe still Control Plus. Anyway, so yeah, if you're in basically it looks like Canada, United States, or Central America, you'll probably be able to see this. It says tonight.
North
But,
America, except
yeah,
for Alaska.
big old meteor shower. So if you're someplace with high visibility and not a lot of lights, then check it out.
6
That should be
p.m.
going on this evening.
6
p.m.
UTC, 7 UTC, and 8 UTC.
And my only complaint here is that it's not tomorrow night because, as we said at the beginning of the story, the big. I know you guys have all been waiting to hear. I'm going backpacking this weekend. And
It's special,
yes,
though.
I'm doing an overnight backpack. What?
Yeah, it's special.
Just from tomorrow to Sunday, up in the local mountains here above the LA basin, and I don't know if I don't know how long this is going to last. Like, I really hope. Actually, no, it's not. It's only tonight. All right, so keep your eyes out tonight, I guess.
Looks like it's going to last about 3 hours.
Yeah, about 3 hours.
You're not going to see it till the last hour if you're in Alaska.
That should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get a nice meteor shower, visible, lots of shooting stars. Make lots of wishes.
Cool.
Wish on each star that we will be spamming the crap out of our YouTube channel in about a week with Computex videos.
Well, they're going to get that wish.
Oh, that's a wish that you'll be sure will come true. We have lots of videos planned. Anyway.
Yes. Need to move, though.
But yeah, we've actually got some more stuff we need to take care of today. So we're gonna say so long to all you folks for all you folks at home. What?
Hashtag or anything?
Oh, any
Paul's
message?
going backpacking.
That's the hashtag?
Paul's going.
That'd be really funny.
I've-
Well, maybe that's not that funny. I'm just imagining how it will be.
He'll be like
received.
He'll be like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
Paul's going backpacking.
Yeah, okay. Yes, he's going
Good.
back. Yes, he's going backpacking.
Good luck.
Yes.
Paul's.
Hashtag Paul's going
like
backpacking.
The most bland message that we've sent to
message we
him
can possibly give.
that we've ever sent to him. But that's okay. Maybe he'll.
There's probably some relief there. He's like, good, they're
It's like
disappearing.
it's like an olive branch. We're trying to make things a little bit more peaceful.
Yes. After Chez's like battle readiness,
Oh yeah.
Here to fight.
raise the dongers over
Yeah.
there.
All right, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Stay tuned next week. We will be probably bringing you our regular content. Half of our team is actually leaving on Monday to go to China, and they're going to be doing some coverage there.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure what they're doing because I'm not. They're going to do some manufacturer factory tours, I think there. So we'll be bringing you some content for that.
Cool.
But we should still be bringing you Yoked next week.
Are we doing a live show?
That's me. Yeah, we might not have a live show next week.
Okay.
If we do, it's going to be Jenny, I think, by herself.
Possibly Chez?
Maybe Jenny and Chez can do it. Chez,
Possibly.
you want to do a live show next week?
Hashtag maybe.
Hashtag maybe. So we might have a live show next week because again, we're going to be like, there's going to be like,
Going to China.
there's going to be like two
Rachel's
people here.
going to
Rachel's
China.
going to China. Steve and I are leaving for Taiwan on Friday.
Kyle and Mr. Lamb.
A week from today. Kyle, Mr. Lamb, and Rachel are going to China on Monday. Crazy. We're traveling over the other side of the world,
Oh,
and
it's gonna be so
hopefully
crazy.
Steve won't be too jet lagged for E3 the following week.
Yeah, I keep not
Which
wanting
I
to think about that.
Don't worry, Steve. One thing at a time. All right, we should really end this show.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much, and don't forget to watch all of our videos we ever do.
Yeah. Yes, so thank you guys very much. We really, really appreciate it. And I think we've lasted long enough to where we can actually kill it.
All right, cool.
And it won't matter that much.
See you all later, everyone.